Right.
and doing projections for the future.
Right. Okay.
I mean, I think everyone on the side of the table will say that we can use all the help we can get and so that we can do all the other stuff that we're required to do. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, just to clarify, so the only assurance residents have is the size of the future staging area. Is that your response to the question? What assurances do residents have that?
I think I said more than that, but we're being simple. But we also talked about the number of slips on the vineyard and Vineyard Haven having only 2 slips, and the need for our schedules to coincide with the schedules, being able to get everything into Vineyard Haven at the same time.
Will you ever reach a point where you just give priority to vineyard residents and just say, sorry, that's it, there's no more trips for tourists if, you know, you reach a certain level?
You can.
Yeah, cap.
Well, we actually, Mark says we do that now. We have so many policies. I mean, we have excursion rates and we have preferred spaces. And so we hold back. Is it 160 now?
No, it's
120?
140.
140? Okay, if you averaged out my 2 guesses, it would come out right. 140 spaces each way?
Each way.
Each way. During the summer, probably through the winter.
80?
80
or 90, something like that.
where they do not go on sale until a specified period of time before sailing. So it's in our policy customer handbook. You can read them online. 7 days beforehand, a number of those go on sale. The only people who are eligible for those are those who have a residency on the vineyard. And then the day before sailing, another portion of those go on for people who have last minute needs. We also allow some of those spaces to be reserved in advance for people who have no medical appointments. You know, they're booked. I mean, and they can't get a reservation off island or back on island, and they have a medical appointment, or they need it for some other legitimate emergency, and so they're able to call the reservations department and use those. So we already do have a preference for island residents for the number of spaces, and are limiting the number of spaces.
Additionally, before reservations go on sale, island residents who qualify for that preferred space can make up to 5 reservations per person for the summer before the general public can. And that actually just ended the last week. Today's the first day that the Nantucket space went on sale for the general public. Additionally, on the vineyard run in the summer, on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Mondays, holiday, right around July 4th and right near the 3rd week in August, there's no standby. So it's reservations only. If it's sold out, it's sold out. Except for that we have a minimum of 15 what we call blue line spaces that residents of the island who again qualify for those programs can travel standby, where I couldn't travel standby. I have to have a reservation or I don't go. So we do limit, once the capacity is sold out, it's sold out. We're not running extra boats. Once those 28 trips are sold out, that's it. And if we're sold out, we're not putting extra trips on that day on, for instance, July 4th weekend. You know, those 28 trips are running, and that's what's running on the weekend, on Saturday and
So
Sunday.
you've pretty much got the system already in place for that. You just have to choose not to increase the number of trips.
Right.
Really?
I think it's fair to say that there is more demand than current capacity for automobiles, and that we have not met that demand, nor have we made a great amount of attempt to meet that additional demand, except for residents, because residents have more of a priority. The one where we have much more difficult problem, because it has much more far-ranging impact, are trucks. And that's where, if the demand for truck traffic, increases because of increased needs, freight needs on the island, we have a obligation to try to meet that in order to protect the economy of the island. What I think that has happened, and you've been getting you can look at this, but on the Nantucket route, I think you will see over the last few years the percentage of reservations or space going to trucks versus cars has increased. And so that may be something that also has happened on the vineyard, I'm not sure. But
More so.
more so on Nantucket. But that may be one of the dynamics that continues into the future.
Mm.
But
Yeah, well, we haven't seen an economic downturn like we did in 2007, where some of the shippers were 30%, 40% decrease in their reservations talking with them. So we haven't had that drop, that reset with the construction and everything else. You know, then you have that drop and then you'll have the growth
Right.
again.
Construction's probably the biggest driver.
correct. Yeah, that's what, right, construction is? Yeah.
So why
And
do you
also the-
advertise?
We need to be clear about what we do in terms of advertising. One of the reasons we advertise, a lot of the advertising, and Bob can kick me under the table if he wants to, is the high-speed service on the Nantucket route. We have competition there, and we are advertising that high-speed boat in order to increase our market share as opposed to increasing overall demand. We have some of that market share issue here too, because you have the Island Queen. So our goal historically has not been to increase the overall amount of traffic to the island, but just to, if people are going to choose between a way to get there, why not choose us? That, you know, if there are economies to scale, the more people we carry that are certainly passengers, walk-on passengers, it's very little incremental cost to us. Then we have the boats, we have the passenger capacity, we mostly have the parking lots. And so that contributes to paying the expenses for the entire operation. A lot of our advertising budget is also the standard stuff that anyone puts in all the local magazines, tourist magazines around, you know, showing our schedules.
Well, we have to advertise our schedules for, that they're up for, you know, but their drafts, their proposals, that goes into it as well.
And some of them are arrangements with local bed and breakfasts and things like that, or that stuff. But we probably, I've seen those comments, and you know, we actually take those to heart, because it has been a tension for this institution for a number of years, and we should probably do a better job of getting out exactly what types of advertising we do, what the purposes of those particular advertisements are, and see where we may want to change that.
And that would fit into your communications
Yeah.
development.
And yeah, and our communications director is still relatively new. He's great. He's he's a great addition, but he's had a lot on his plate for the last year. And he's been doing a great job. And that's one
6
thing.
months.
And also circling back to the truck, some of it, and I factually can't point to, because I don't know if each truck is 100% full, 90%, but there's a shift in dynamics of the last 5-10 years of how deliveries how consumers are buying their goods. Where if you bought 6 pairs of shoes, used to go to Woolworth and Falmouth, wherever, and the box would be nice and tight, and you know there would be no wasted space in that box. Now, as these shoes are being delivered to home, the last mile, as you get the box from Amazon, you have the shoes and you have a bunch of air. So as these shippers are shipping the same quantity of goods, it's taking more physical space to ship it. So I can't quantify what that number is or how big is it increasing trucks, because was the truck at 100% full, was it at 90%, and that extra air is there, but it's definitely impacting the way deliveries are being sent.
All right, any other comments about question 11, which is where we started here? If it's okay with people, I'd like to shift gears maybe and go back to question 1 and get us talking about the actual building itself, and save question 12 for discussion at the end.
Sure.
Kind of a broader, big picture regional question.
Okay.
So,
All right. I mean, I got some. This is where I think we have had.
so it really comes down to a question, I think, of what are the basic functions that the steamship authority feels they need to house in that building its whole.
And that's the first thing we asked the terminal manager last week again. We've done this before. And Mark had given me this photograph, which I'm going to pass around. For the temporary Woods Hole Terminal building.
The line.
That's not the line.
Yep.
One of them. And apparently, and I don't, now that I've retired, I stopped following everything on social media, but, you know, there have been a number of comments about, from customers
So
about
how many hours a year is that typical?
the summer.
How many hours
Every weekend,
a
probably.
week is that typical?
Every Saturday, you're gonna have, that's a peak demand. I mean, if you have bad weather, people aren't gonna be waiting out there like, you know, we have an obligation to have cover for the people during the rain, just like Matt brought up about the airport. Yeah, people are walking further, but it's indoors. You know, so.
I thought you had awnings planned for.
We have them over the piers. We wanted to get them more along the bulkhead. We can only do it on the small portions because of everything that's underneath it, which is, you know, there's so much going on underneath the ground to hold this whole place together that our architects said we couldn't do.
Forget the awnings.
We tried.
Go ahead with the rest.
Okay.
One quick question before the discussion. How many ticket windows are there in the temporary building? Are there 4? 5? And how many were there in the previous ticket building, the existing
At
terminal?
one point, there used to be 8. There was 5 at the end.
Right, at the end, okay, so
At the end,
so
there were
equal
5.
number of ticketing
Yes.
windows,
Mhm.
and I would assume that at other times there were lines out the door of the previous terminal building.
Yes.
The previous terminal
Yeah.
building would line up down to the drugstore.
Coffee
God, I never
extension.
saw that, that's interesting, I didn't know a lot.
It was always for the 9:30 when the bus would pull in.
Mhm.
I would see the line all the way down.
9:30, 10:45 noon.
And there'd be a separate line for people with bicycles.
On Saturdays.
No, this was on the weekday.
Some days do it, yeah.
On weekdays. The 9:30 in Martha's Vineyard and the 10:45, you know, I don't know, are just extremely popular.
Wow, wow.
Went to where?
We used to go down to the drugstore.
Yeah.
Coffee up.
Before my time?
Yeah, because
I don't remember that either.
I can speak last year that we were down to the landfall a few times,
Lynn.
last year.
This summer, but.
I mean,
Half of-
2017.
Where we're in the old,
That's
the
interesting.
old building. We used to go-
I've never seen
I've
that.
got to say, being in for 60-some years, I've never seen a line on the street.
I'm gonna use you as a
I
witness
have,
for me.
I have.
Thank you.
No, I have, but it just,
But I spent a lot of time down there and I've never experienced that.
Your
So
office
then
is
is
in the
it-
coffee house,
so-
isn't it?
Then the proposal is to build an awning all the way down to the coffee house?
Put everybody in a box.
Well, You've got an
Well, I mean,
obligation, you just said you've got an obligation to keep people out of the rain. So where does
We'll
that
worry about the
obligation
views. Who's
actually?
concerned about the
what
view?
principle?
well, that's a matter of judgment, and that's
Uh-huh.
where we,
Yeah,
you know, we can disagree, but, you know. we
that's
both-
why we're here.
That's why we're here.
Uh-huh.
And what we did is, the current lobby area, you know, assuming when they do it, because they've started to put the lines in there, will hold around 300 to 350 people. If you use some standard, and I'm not sure what it is, of so many square foot per person.
This is the current proposed lobby?
Current proposed
Okay.
lobby. And that is more, well, but where do I go? I think some of the ones asked about how the program has expanded over the years, and I just wanted to, we asked the architects to provide that information. And it has expanded somewhat, but not, you know, I know, but not that significantly in terms of the areas. You can see where it did expand. And this, do you have enough? I hope I may. Okay. This is,
I thought that you were gonna eliminate the concession food prep vending area.
this was before that. This was what was presented in October.
I see November 2018.
Yeah, this is what they gave me, so I have to give this to
Oh,
you.
okay.
Okay,
I mean,
this
you
was,
know,
this was for,
No,
and
you
that's
don't.
another thing. This was the one that was presented on October 9th, which they is still in the program as of November of 2018. So it hasn't changed that much greater, but there are some reasons for some of the changes, and we can get into that. The idea that I think we want to discuss is, what do we need? And one of the other aspects is, what do we need on the first floor? because we'll go into the issue, I know David has ideas of how we can lower the building, but essentially even a one-story building, if you're gonna have any slope on the roof at all, is gonna block the water view, wherever it is. And
How much is it? You're gonna show us that?
yeah, we're gonna, but the idea maybe, there's one consideration, that if you're gonna block the water view anywhere with a one-story building, if you are, let's go with that premise, if you're gonna block the view anyway, it may be better to go up 2 floors and shorten the building, so that you get more of the view, you have less of a horizon block, and you go up. I mean, these are all considerations that we're just talking about. The idea for a 2-story building, and this was part of that June 2014 presentation, is that if you have any type of a normal roof structure, even on a 1-story building, you're going to definitely block the water view. And if you do that, you can put dormers and make the roof line the 2nd floor, and therefore decrease the length of the building, open up the view. And that's what our intent was with that October presentation. That's what we were trying to do there, and we're going to talk about that. But the idea was try to stack up as much as we could onto the 2nd floor in dormers, so that we keep the building, and that was the thing that was at June 2014. The one question we all have, probably in this room, is why do you have to have that roof line extended over the lobby? And we've had a discussion about that with the architects too. So, okay. But I'll go back to, we're going back to the program amendments. So this is based upon the second one. I'll give you, but it's a draft and it's today, because it's what I did, and I'm not an architect, engineer, mathematician, or anything. I just went through the construction drawings for the temporary terminal building and took out what those numbers are.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. And people have asked about Vineyard Haven. And so we have given this out as well. Might keep one of the cards. Okay. People have asked about what I call the old Woodsole Terminal building. And these look very similar, so be careful for that one.
There we go. Okay, I've seen this one.
The quick question on the lobby, we touched on that.
Yeah, that's-
Very keen.
Yep.
Do you have a sense of the, it's got full capacity based on square footage, is that a 1% occurrence, a 5% occurrence, 10% occurrence? Do you have any idea which occurrence your building's doing in that case?
My personal sense, I mean, Bill or Mark, my personal sense is we're doing it for specific circumstances. When we have a lot of people waiting in that building when it's raining or bad weather. And that would be not only in the winter, but also during the summer, when you have a combination of people arriving at the terminal, not only to buy tickets or to wait for the boats, you have people getting off the boats in order to, waiting for the shuttle buses. You have people waiting for the Peter Pan bus, the RTA bus. You have, I mean, I've been in those lines myself, and I've been there when people wait a long time for shuttle buses. And I will say it's not designed even to fully accommodate all those people. It just somewhat. And people are struggling to have to do it. Because if we were to design an interior waiting space to accommodate everyone who needs it during those situations, which you can't say is 5%, 10% or something, but many of our customers would say that's what we should do. You would have something